Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Friday, May 17, 2024. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. This evening, Bay Street in capital Kingston will be a hive of activity for the launch of Vincy Mas 2024 under the theme Unleashing Runs and Rhythm. Earlier today, FC Roberts, a Marketing and Development Officer of the Carnival Development Corporation, CDC, expressed much excitement about the event as patrons get a teaser of what is to come for the hottest carnival in the Caribbean, Vincy Mas 2024.
The launch this year is divided into 3 segments, which would flow one into the other. The first segment will start at 4 p.m., which is the junior segment, and that will feature the winners of the junior categories in Vincy Mas last year. So we have Junior Calypso, Junior Soca, we have the Junior Panorama champs, we have the Junior Mas section and so on. So a lot of juniors on that segment. You might have 1 or 2 adults, but mainly the artists on that segment will be juniors. And then from 5 p.m. we have the DNA Parade. The DNA Parade includes a number of elements of Vincy Mas. You'll be seeing the boozy back, monkey band, the original traditional juve. We have in pan around the neck. We're gonna have drummers, we have dance groups, we're gonna have costumes, steel band, and so forth and so forth. So a number of different elements of Vincy Mas will be showcased during the parade, including t-shirt bands. You know, t-shirt band was unique to St. Vincent for a long time, for Vincy Mas for a long time. So different bands will be featured in the parade, sorry. And these bands, so who we had commitments from, we had t-shirts from Guinness, we had from Flo, we had from Purple Army and so forth. So, and then the Green Machine, they also contacted some of their people to come and jump in the parade this afternoon, to be in the parade. Now, the idea is just to have a t-shirt band present, not necessarily for this year, but any t-shirt from any previous year. You know, just wear a t-shirt and come to the launch, whether you're going to be in the parade or you're just going to be looking on. We just want to have a lot of Vincy Mas t-shirts from previous years in the launch today.
Roberts noted that the launch of Vincy Mas 2024 will incorporate the ICC World Cup Trophy Tour, and the event will feature a packed entertainment package, including a competition dubbed Flow First Run, where 10 artists will be selected to compete for a grand prize of $5,000.
Official ceremony, which will begin after the DNA parade concludes. We're going to have the official ceremony, going to include speeches by officials, and then we're going to have cultural and entertainment package. We have something called the Flow First Run. It's a competition. A number of artists were expressing interest in being on the launch, and we decided to do a competition. So we had a process where they had to submit their songs, fill in an application form. The judges made a pick last night. So within a few days we got over 45 entries, which was really good. And I must commend the artists and the producers. The songs this year are really good. And 10 were selected. So the list has been published, and these persons will be in competition later. Apart from those 10 artists who are competing, well, before I tell you about the other featured artists, the prize for the winner is $5,000. The winner of that Flow First Run is $5,000. In addition to that, they'll be getting a guaranteed performance on a CDC show of their choice. So they'll be having a paid performance on a CDC show. They would also be given a photo shoot, a professional photo shoot. They'll be given tickets for 2, passes for 2 persons for the entire season for all CDC events. All right? And the other competitors, the other 9 will be given $500 each as an appearance fee.
At this evening's launch, the ICC trophy will be on display, marking its final leg of its tour to SVG, which commenced on Wednesday with a welcoming ceremony at the Argyle International Airport. Roberts says the trophy tour to SVG has been a success.
The trophy tour started on Wednesday at the airport. We had a ceremony when the trophy arrived. Then we had a caravan into Kingston. We ended at the cruise ship terminal area outside NIS, where we had an activation with a number of persons taking photos with the trophy, etc. Yesterday, the caravan went to Black Point to do a photo shoot on the Black Sand Beach. Of course, we needed to showcase Black Sand Beach in St. Vincent. So their photo shoot was done with the trophy there, followed by an execution at the Sandy Bay Secondary School, which is in the same area, and the other schools from Georgetown were transported, students from other schools were transported to come to that area to do an activation as well, with the students taking photos with the trophy, etc. Then the caravan moved to Chomaka in the afternoon and did a similar activation in the junction at Chomaka. Other schools in the area came to the activity as well. And today the trophy is in Beckwith this morning, and they will be returning this afternoon to be a part of the big parade, the DNA parade, which is part of the Vincy Mas launch.
A number of people who were in capital Kingston today are happy for the start of Vincy Mas, which this year runs from June 29th to July 9th. For some, it generates income, whilst for others, it is a time to let loose and have some fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there for carnival. I mean, I'm selling coconut water here. People need coconut water to drink and, you know, and stuff like that. I don't sell alcohol, but I sell coconut water during the carnival, you know. So, you know, it's good.
No Vincy Mas for you this year?
Of course. Of course.
How do you feel about it this year?
I feel it will be great. It will be very great.
No, I don't like Vincy Carnival.
I want to, but I don't want to participate. And then I write my calypso into sing it, and then the farthest you can go with your calypso is preliminaries, you know. And it's because you're singing the social commentary, you know, and you're singing it in a happy way, you know.
Meantime, one taxi driver who spoke to our news team commented that the launch of Vincy Mas 2024 should have been held at a different location.
Stop doing all these things in Heritage Square, and you got Victoria Park at the grammar school ground. There's not enough space in these areas for this stuff. Come into the taxi now. When this stuff is happening, it's hard for us to operate. It's hard for us to make get a trip or make some money, because we sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes we get pushed around. There is no space for us. We have to be out there on the street and stuff like that. So all of this makes sense, you know.
This evening's official launch ceremony, which is expected to start at 7, would include speeches from Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture, Carlos James, and also from Chairman of the CDC, Ricardo Adams. American Airlines has added 2 new routes to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which will begin on December 7, 2024. The 2 new routes to SVG include once a week from Charlotte, North Carolina, and JFK, New York. In a news release, Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sustainable Development, Carlos James, has been quoted as saying he welcomes the news of additional flights to our beautiful island as we continue to increase air access to support a build-out of our tourism industry, noting that tourism is undoubtedly the largest contributor to SVG's GDP. Minister James says he is humbled to be leading this transformation of the island's tourism industry while crediting the industry's progress to its stakeholders. He also vows to further improve accessibility, accommodations and attractions. In other news, now on the weather, seen in its 72-hour weather forecast, the SVG Meteorological Service says occasional cloudy skies with sporadic showers. Activity can be expected across our islands into early Saturday. It's shortly after fair to partly cloudy conditions should dominate the weekend weather pattern. Along Monday, occasionally cloudy skies are anticipated as unstable conditions affect the islands. A few scattered light to moderate showers are forecast, and moderate to fair easterly to southeasterly trades are expected to cross the islands within the next 24 hours, slightly reducing from Sunday. Seas are expected to be slight to moderate in open water and rising by Saturday. Swell highs are expected to peak to 1.5 meters on the western coast and 2 meters on the eastern coast. Small craft operators and sea bathers are asked to exercise caution for above normal sea swells, in addition to varying concentrations of Sahara dust haze. Intrusions are expected to cross the islands over the next 3 days, reducing air quality and visibility. The Grenadines joins the global community today in commemorating World Hypertension Day 2024 under the theme Measure Your Blood Pressure Accurately, Control It, Live Longer. Dr. Francis Murray, responsible for the Chateaubriand Health District, explained more about hypertension, including how it is being diagnosed on NBC Radio's Face-to-Face program today.
Right, hypertension in lay terms is high blood pressure, okay? And that's when your blood pressure is running above normal levels, normal being the reference range of 120/80 millimeters of mercury. So for us health professionals, once your blood pressure goes up above 130/140/90, we become concerned and we take that as a high reading. As you know it, there are instances, for example, one might be in a situation, get angry, and the pressure might go up. That does not define hypertension, but it's defined as a sustained elevation in your blood pressure. In fact, once you have an elevated blood pressure reading on 2 separate occasions, that is sufficient for us to label or diagnose you with hypertension.
All right. At what reading, Doc, should we start worrying? I know there may be different levels.
So 120/80 is normal reference range. Okay, and once it goes up, so between 120 to 130/140 is borderline. Okay, between 80 to 90, the lower number, that's borderline. But once it gets above 140/90, right, then we label that as a high reading.
Regarding the cause of hypertension, Dr. Murray stated that there are several contributing factors, including diet and alcohol consumption.
What persons might ask, what causes hypertension?
Right. Hypertension, most forms of hypertension, as we know it, is what we call essential. There's no defined underlying cause. We call it primary hypertension. Okay? The other class of hypertension is called secondary hypertension, which comes about from having underlying disease, for example, thyroid problems, certain cancers, like pheocytomas and the like, but that's a small percentage. The majority of hypertension that we see is essential hypertension, primary hypertension, and the real cause, defining cause is unknown, but we know that there are a number of contributing factors, in particular diet, high salt diet, lifestyle factors play an important part. Inactivity, your weight can contribute to that. Persons who are overweight are at increased risk. Age is a very important factor. As well as you get older, over 40, you see an increased incidence of persons with hypertension as well, right? I already mentioned the salt. Alcohol, it's very important. You know, alcohol and excessive alcohol to be, in fact, is a big risk factor. And, you know, some alcohol vary compared to others. You know, persons who drink Guinness, you know, 1 or 2 Guinness can take up your blood pressure very high.
Foot health practitioner and a member of the SVG Diabetes and Hypertension Association says over the years they have seen a rise in the number of persons in SVG developing high blood pressure or hypertension, with the majority affected being females.
Male are affected, but when they do find out is when they actually get knocked down. Knocked down in the sense mean they end up in the hospital with a stroke. And what we are saying today, we don't want that to happen. So we are running with a team to let you know that you are to measure your blood pressure accurately. You can control it, live healthier and longer. Knowing your number is very important. to our people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because if you know your number, you will better able to understand the reason why I have to take care of myself by changing my lifestyle. We don't want you to become complacent. We don't want you to take things for granted. We want you to understand that high blood pressure is a silent killer. So right now, our female are in the front diagnosed with high blood pressure. There must be reasons, which I would not be able to know all the reasons, but our male who fail at times to really do their annual checkup, we are calling on you, male. You are the leader. God placed you here for a purpose, and we want you to rise up and do what you are supposed to do. Take care of your health. So yes, high blood pressure, the silent killer.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines is among a number of CARICOM countries which has given its support to the bid by the state of Palestine to become a member of the United Nations. Addressing the 10th emergency special session today dealing with the issue, illegal Israeli actions in occupied East Jerusalem and the rest of the occupied Palestinian territory, Counselor of SVG's permanent mission to the United Nations, Haley-Ann Mark, expresses SVG's disappointment with the use of a veto in the Security Council on April 18th and the agenda item of the admission of the new members to block what SVG deems as a legitimate aspirations of the state of Palestine for full membership in the United Nations.
This issue is one that underpins the moral conscience of the international community. It is a manifestation of Palestine's pursuit of dignity, sovereignty, and the right to self-determination and an independent state of Palestine. This is why my delegation co-sponsored Resolution A/ES10/L30 Rev 1, which confers upon the state of Palestine additional rights and privileges that would enhance its participation in the work of the General Assembly and the international conferences convened under the auspices of the Assembly or other UN organs, as well as in UN conferences. This initiative brings us one step closer to full membership, but it is still not enough. Mr. President, the veto is a responsibility and not an unfettered privilege. Its use to advance narrow nationalistic or political agendas at the expense of the well-being of other states runs counter to the Council's duty to discharge its mandate on behalf of the wider membership, as per Article 24(1) of the Charter of the United Nations. The veto can neither be exercised to subvert the will of the international community nor violate international law. Now, more than ever, we need an effective, efficient, and responsible Security Council, and not a bystander. For too long, the Palestinian people have contended with illegal occupation, dispossession, and harsh settler colonialist policies that constitute gross violations of international law, including the well-established and legally binding UN Security Council resolutions. Our delay in recognizing an independent state of Palestine contributes to the toxic status quo that constitutes a root cause of the ongoing conflict. We therefore call on the members of the Security Council to fulfill their duties as the gatekeepers of international peace and security and reconsider favorably Palestine's legitimate request for admission as a full member to the United Nations.
Worldwide, 140 countries, an overwhelming majority of the 193 UN member states have recognized Palestine as a state and supported it to become a full member of the UN body. Back at home, the nation's fishermen will take the spotlight at the Calico playing field on Monday, May 20th, 2024 for the 47th Fisherman's Day event. President of the Fishful Cooperative, Winsbert Harry, is encouraging everyone to come out and support the fishermen who will only have fresh fish on sale. He said it is a good time to also celebrate the fishermen of SVG.
I'm here to invite persons to come and celebrate and interact with the fisher folks of St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Fisherman's Day. The fishers will be open up for interviews, to share knowledge, to share experience, to share challenges, and to share their benefit as being in the fishing industry. There will be a lot of activities on Fisherman's Day. On Monday, bouncing castle for the children, face painting. We will also have Fishers Interactive. There will be a lot of fish and fish product will be sold. Fishing tackles, fish, only fresh fish will be sold on the day. We're encouraging that. We're encouraging persons to come early to support the fisher folks on Fisherman's Day, because this is our 47th year of activities.
On Monday, Fisherman's Day, there will be 2 competitions for the fishermen, who are also encouraged to participate.
I'm also encouraging the fisher folks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to get involved, get registered, take part. There will be 2 categories this year. It will be Class 1, which will be Fisherman of the Year, and Class 2. Class 1 is where the fisher folks go up to 50 to 60 miles, where they catch more dolphin, kingfish, tuna, albacore, blue marlin. And Class 2 is where you catch more red snapper, red hind, butterfish, and barracudas. We the fisher folks would like to say to you, you have been a blessing to us into supporting us over the years in terms of purchasing and buying our fish. As we strengthen the fishing industry in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The theme for Fisherman's Day 2024 is "Fish is food, fish is life, leave no fisher behind." And the slogan is "Fish sustainably for a blue economy." Harry said the slogan is appropriate at this time when fishermen are facing challenges.
Climate change is here and climate change is real. And fishers, we have to learn new technology in terms of how we look at our slogan, sustainable fisheries for the blue economy. That means we have to fish smart using new technology and excluding our easy, so we can have fish on the dish for the people of our country and our brothers and our sisters.